have you ever seen anything at the Rammstein after parties or any of the band members behaving in any way that concerns you at all? All right, so I have been covering the unfolding controversy surrounding the European band Rammstein. And this story is just exploding in Europe. It's even getting coverage over here in America because there's such a huge band with such a huge international reputation. But it's definitely exploding in Europe. And it looks like we have another Me Too type hysteria on the scene. I have done a number of videos already. I've interviewed one of the witnesses. Check out those videos. And yeah, it looks like we're just seeing the same thing recycled again, except in Europe, and it's a different band, it's a different target. So I have an interesting guest coming up. This is a police officer, a French police officer who went to the concert, attended the concert in Vilnius and the after party. Now, I have verified his identity, his profession as a police officer. And then, of course, here are photos verifying his attendance at the Vilnius concert and the after party. And he was on the front row of the concert. So he was in full view of the row zero, the infamous row zero women. And also he was at the same after party, the very same after party that the accuser Shelby attended, the one who got this whole controversy started with her story a week ago about, well, her story has changed a lot, but having to do with suspicions that she was drugged at a band pre-party and then was taken advantage of by someone and given a bruise at the after party, and also approached by Till Lindemann for sex, but she claims that Till Lindemann didn't actually touch her or hurt her in any way. So basically, she's just complaining that he approached her for sex.
Me! He wanted to have sex with me! Oh my god, Till Lindemann wanted to have sex with me? What?
Anyway, the point is, this has become snowballed into a big story, and I wanted to talk to someone who was there, someone credible, and I have found him. He has already shared his perspective online, and I'm going to read that to you in a moment, but I wanted to introduce him. He was at the after party, he saw Shelby, and he's been to a number of Rammstein after parties and can attest to the truth about the environment there. And of course, I've been to the same parties as well. I wasn't in Vilnius, but in the fall in the States, same after parties, hung out with Till, hung out with Joe, some of the others. And so anyway, I've already done a video on that. You can check it out. But here's my guest. All right, let me let you on. Hello, your name is Sylvain, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for standing up and telling us your impression of things. So I'm going to read through right now something that you posted a couple of days ago on Instagram, and you talked about what it was like to, what it has been like to attend these parties, these after parties, and also what it was like to attend this particular after party. Okay, so this is what you wrote. First of all, I want to say that I understand the opinion of people who find the image given to women in row zero demeaning. That's not my point here. And I think that's an excellent statement there, okay? Some people may not like the idea of a bunch of hot women at the front of the crowd next to the stage. You know, that might not be to their taste or whatever. They think it's demeaning, but that's not the point. You write, I'm 52 years old. I've attended dozens of Rammstein shows. I'm also lucky to have attended many meetings during after parties. I want to give, so you've attended a number of after parties. I want to give my testimony. I was in Vilnius on May 22nd and also at the after party. I have always seen Joe Letts during the last tours as very attentive, dedicated to ensuring that everything goes well for everyone, especially for the row zero from the beginning to the end, until he made sure that everyone who wanted to leave didn't miss the last shuttle home. A very respectful, professional attitude, always benevolent. I would have liked my daughter or my little sister to be safe like that when they go out. Joe was exemplary, always calm, even when a girl did not respect the fundamental safety rules of row zero leaving the area. The technicians could confirm who made incessant remarks. I also noticed that the people invited by Joe to the after shows were as often men as couples. I had the opportunity in Vilnius to go backstage with a couple of Dutch friends, At the risk of disappointing you, I never saw anything sexual or deviant during these many evenings. Just people partying, having a drink, chatting with band members, people dancing, happy to be there, normal, healthy people, like all the environment, technicians, production. As a police officer, I can assure you that I have never witnessed a suspicious or dangerous situation for anyone at a Rammstein concert or an after party, and I am very vigilant. Participants present were always delighted to be there. I never witnessed violence of any kind. The weirdest thing I saw was a band member dancing like a devil on Village People's YMCA, but I'll never tell you who. It's a joke, people. I can testify to this truth. Do not believe everything you hear or read in the mainstream media, which only repeat untruthful elements without any checks, meaning without any real investigation, I think. I will see Rammstein shows again. I encourage you to do the same. These are great shows, and people work very hard for the enjoyment and safety of all of us. I mean, that says it very clearly. So thank you for that. I'd like to talk about it a little bit. All right, so I want to ask you some questions based on this, and just to make sure that we're clear, because I know that a lot of people will have a lot of questions. And so, just to be clear, you attended the concert, and you were in Vilnius, and you were in the first row. You could see the women in row 0. Is that right?
Yes, I was just in front of them in the right side of the stage.
Okay, okay. And then you were invited to go to the after party, the same one that Shelby attended. You were invited by Joe Lutz, and Joe
Yeah.
Lutz is the guy he's a musician who works with Rammstein and with Till, and he's gotten some criticism from some people say enabling, recruiting, women for women only women for these after parties. But I just want to understand, you're a man, you were asked by Joe to go to the after party. And then when you got to the after party, were there other men there?
Yeah, depends of the evening, but I think generally it was half and half, half
Half
men,
and half.
women.
Yeah, half and half. And that was my experience as well. It was one of these after parties, and there were men there. There were a number of men, and there were some older ladies, all kinds of people. Okay. So how many after parties have you been to? I know that you're a Rammstein fan. You've been to a number of them. How many after parties?
I think between 15 or 20, perhaps, after show.
Okay, and that is really important because there are some people I know who will say, well, maybe you didn't see something bad at this one after party, but there's a lot of stuff you might not see. But you have been to enough after parties, spending hours hanging out with Till, these band members, the ones who come to the parties sometimes, and seeing the environment. And you have been to these parties enough to, I think, to know if something is wrong. And so I want to ask you, at any of these after parties, including Vilnius, did you see anyone endangered or assaulted, or anyone who looked drugged or incapacitated or taken advantage of?
No, never.
So they're very safe?
Never, neither by a member of the band or even by a guest. Never. It was a really quiet and secure place.
Okay.
There are also security guys around the scene. No problem, never.
Okay. Okay. And so, did you ever witness any inappropriate behavior by Till Lindemann or Joe Letts? And maybe not something that was violent or an assault, or it was something where you thought that they were acting inappropriate, they were being predatory in any way?
Never. I think I would have reported them to organization, and I would have to left the party in this case. I never seen something illegal. No violence, no fight, nothing like that. No drug.
Okay. I also wonder, aside from illegal behavior, did you ever see Till Lindemann or Joe or anyone in the band behaving toward women, particularly younger women, at these shows in a way that would make you concerned? Because you mentioned in your post, you mentioned something about your daughter, having, this is such a safe environment, you would feel comfortable with, with her being there. So did you ever see any women who looked like they were in trouble or that they were being taken advantage of?
Never. In fact, absolutely no. Till Lindemann is always a gentleman, and Joe is like a guardian angel for girls and for other people during the party.
Joe's like a guardian. No, I understand, because my experience with Joe, when I spent time with him, a lot of time at one of the after parties with Joe and with Danny, is that I thought that Joe was really especially nice guy. I mean, I remember having that thought because he was trying to help a friend out with something, and just you could just see this is a very nice person, a good person, a kind person. Now, I wanted to ask as well, did you feel like the women at these parties were too young? Did you have an impression that there were lots of underage girls? Now, I know that the age of consent in France and in Germany, I know that it's different than here in the United States, but did you see anyone who just looked to you to be too young to be at that party?
I have never seen people who seemed to me too young to drink alcohol or to do sex or something like that. Just once I saw a couple kissing, but they were both obviously very consenting.
Yes, yes. Yes, hopefully consensual kissing is not a problem yet, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Oh,
Sorry. Sorry, a joke. All right, so I guess again, I just want to make sure, did you see, have you ever seen anything at any of the Rammstein after parties, or any of the band members or Joe behaving in any way that concerns you at all?
never, neither with band members or guests, or even with other people or Joe. I always saw decent people and nice people happy to partying and to dance and dancing and drinking and a normal party. There is nothing illegal. I never seen something dangerous.
Mm, mm. And you said you never even saw any sexual activity or hint of it other than
Never.
a couple kissing, and it wasn't Till.
Even we still, I think
Right.
a phantasm for some journalists in Europe, but nothing at all.
Amen to that. A phantasma of some journalist in Europe. I totally agree. I totally agree. And over here in the United States, unfortunately, as well. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And I think it's very obvious that you are a credible person. And like I said, I've verified that you're a police officer in France, but it just means so much to have you here. So thank you so much. And I just want to say to everyone, you should check out my series on the Rammstein controversy. It is developing in real time, and it is snowballing, unfortunately. And it really just, it's a kind of like a Salem witch trial situation. Honestly, there's a sort of sexual hysteria that's taking root here. And so anyway, I have made a number of videos on it, and I just put out a video recently, as I said, with a woman who was at these parties. She was with Shelby most of the night, and she has a very distinct impression of those events. So check that out. Check out my channel. Also, I depend on your support. My links are below. I appreciate tips, donations. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yes, Sylvain, thank you so much. And we will see you later.
See you again.